Let's go to Gregg Carlstrom in Tel Aviv. So it was a very friendly press conference, as we mentioned, but what about the substance? How will Israelis react?
Well, as Jennifer mentioned, really a seismic shift in U.S. policy. I think anytime an American president utters the words one-state solution in the White House, it's a major change. We've had President Clinton, Bush, Obama, all of them focused not only on a two-state solution, but on a U.S.-led peace process. And what Trump said effectively is that first he'd be okay with a one-state solution. He'd also be okay with Israel driving the process. He effectively said Israel's going to run the show. And so we've heard, for example, Naftali Bennett, the leader of the pro-settler Jewish Home Party, who came out and said this is the start of what he called a new era. The U.S. is acknowledging that there doesn't need to be a Palestinian state. That means Israel can keep the West Bank. It can keep the settlements in the West Bank. It effectively doesn't have to negotiate. So I think when you couple President Trump almost stepping back with the very right-wing government that is in power in Israel right now, it opens the door for a major shift in policy, and one that the Palestinians are not going to be happy with.
Netanyahu also talked about a regional approach to the conflict. What does that mean, and how realistic is it?
It's not very realistic, to be honest. This has been a burgeoning idea of his. Israel has built quiet ties over the past few years with a number of Arab states, particularly in the Gulf. They're motivated by a fear of Iran, and so they've built intelligence and military ties. And Netanyahu's idea is that he could normalize relations between Israel and these Arab states, and then they could all work together to somehow resolve the conflict with the Palestinians. It's a fantasy because these countries are not going to embrace Israel before a Palestinian state is created. It would be hugely unpopular at home. It would be very destabilizing domestically for these countries to do. Having said that, the fact that he brings it up, I think, is a signal that both Israel and these countries are going to keep the focus on Iran when they're dealing with the White House. I think rather than talk about the Palestinians, really, both parties would like to focus on pushing for tougher sanctions and for a tougher line on Iran.
Good to speak to you, Gregg Carlstrom from Tel Aviv.